What's up, guys, and welcome back for another solo mining episode. We're going to be doing some Mercoxit today. Took a little bit of scouting. We ended up finding a large belt that we can go on to. We're just taking one alt out there. I've got the main here in the Tengu. Just because when I'm out there looking for Mercoxit, then they usually show up, spawn new with rats. But all the ones I've found today have already been cleared, so we're going to try to get in here with the prospecting, at least fill up maybe a few times, at least once, hopefully. And always just trying to stack, more fight for either export or for industry, depending on how things go. We're just waiting for the alt to kind of get here. We've already bookmarked a couple of rocks. I think the alt will probably get here before those catch up on the shared folder and everything. Yeah, she's already here. But that's fine. What I can do is I can actually warp. I can actually warp just 0 to the belt. And then we'll have those bookmarks ready to go for round 2 whenever we get kind of filled up. I don't have my alts in fleets right now because the main will probably actually just kind of continue pushing down the line and see what else we can find. We really need to start spreading out some mining assets, since so much of our mining requires traveling and whatnot. Let's go over and switch to one of these. Drop cloak, go prop mod. What do we have? We have 5,000 set on that. Come on. There we go. Did not want there in the end. The bookmarks now just showed up. So now we can just kind of sit here and watch out for these watch local and stuff. Gotta turn this prop mod off because these deep cores really don't like my capacitor. I think this tune also needs some more capacitor training. Yes, she does. So actually, while we're sitting here chilling, actually, no, her capacitor stuff is good. I do need to get her finished off with, she's working on finishing off Sino stuff. So, now normally in a situation like this, it'd be nice to bring out every single alt that we have and kind of blitz this stuff. But we had to travel for this, so I don't mind, and all my alts are actually deep core or Mercoxit trained right now, so I think we're fine with this. But yeah, my Tengu's over here just chilling. Mercoxit is a great commodity, though. Also, this kind of helps too, having some combat coverage is actually pretty decent. I'm actually going to get this, I should get this Tengu more positioned towards my alt. We don't have to worry about rats, but it's nice that if there's just something crazy happens and, something comes on grid, we do have a combat ship here, which is nice. I did kind of just feel like taking the Tengu out today. The idea was to actually find a fresh new Mercoxit belt and kind of show you guys how to clear it. But everyone that I found today was already cleared in terms of rats. But this Tengu will actually do the clearing just fine. So let's go and look at the fit here, since we're kind of just, waiting. Mercoxit is a very slow process, but it's highly worth it. Now, this Tengu is something I've been using for a while. It's not spec'd out for scanning or anything. It's more or less just kind of spec'd out for clearing mining sites and stuff. So, you got your covered ops cloak, you got, your expanded probe launcher, so that means we can carry combats. We can scan down ships and deployables, which is nice. And even if you're not into PvP, having access to combat probes is nice, because if you do leave an MTU out, then you at least have a way to scan it down and kind of get that back. So it's running all heavy assault missile launcher 2s, and then depending on where you're at, you're going to put, heavy assault missiles, or these have got Nova Rage, and also I'm carrying javelins as well. And then for the mids, it's pretty, basic. You got, your afterburner, you got some capper charger stuff, and then a multi-spec shield hardeners, shield boosters, and then the low is just ballistic control systems and damage control and whatnot. Not too bad. But what I'll do is I'll leave, since we're kind of chilling here, I'm going to leave this up right here. So just in case you guys want to kind of mess with this fit, I'll just kind of leave it up there. I don't really need to be on the prospect and watching it because we're not moving anything out of there. So we're just kind of chilling and looking around. I do highly recommend the Tengu, though. If not Tengu, but like one of the other factions for this type of ship. They are versatile. They've got good utility. If you want something that can like clear rats, but also like clear or scan down signatures and do stuff like that, the Tengu can actually do all that stuff. So I do carry a buzzard with me out here in Null, which is more purpose built for scanning. But if I had to in a pinch and I didn't want to carry that many holes out with me, the Tengu can actually cover the scanning portion and the low-level rat stuff as well. It's kind of the state of mining, though, in nullsec for the most part. I mean, a lot of traveling around, like with the way that, SOV and arrays are done now, like, and all the different material, and all the material anomalies. You don't really get everything that you need for mining in like one system, like we did with the old indexed anomalies. We kind of have to move around a little bit, which I think is even more so to the point of like why prospects and endurances are very nice. Because originally the plan was going to be to come in here and just kind of like fill up, go to the refinery, and then dump it, and then come out and do another load, and then at the end of everything we would compress it all and just kind of take it back to where it needs to be staged. But since we have compression on with the Rorqual out here and boost, we can actually do quite a bit without actually having to turn lasers off. So we've done about 16.9 in compressive value. I don't really like looking at compressive value. I more or less like looking at the value of the Morphite itself. At the end of this video, when we get it back to home station, we will kind of compress it all, look at the Morphite yield, and get you a good idea of kind of what this little mining session is worth and everything. But all we have to do now is just gotta chill. So in terms of like, I guess while we're kind of sitting here waiting for slow Mercoxit, we're in terms of like, what we're going to be planning to do, we're still, working on fuel blocks. We're still working on nano repair paste. PI is one of the things that just we have 7 tunes doing PI right now. And that's just stuff gets reset every day. Every couple of days I'll go out and pick everything up, and then we'll kind of base our mining off of what our PI looks like, and that's gonna decide whether or not we're doing what we're running jobs for. So and actually, speaking of which, since we have the main out here, go look at our industry window. I don't think I had any jobs. We saw the squall in here, but it's going to be chilling a little bit. We do want to try to focus more on nano repair paste because it is just really high value. If we decide to export, we probably do need to focus down. We were focusing a little bit on fuel blocks, but I think that we need to just do a crap ton of we have a lot of robotics, but we need to like focus on mechanical parts and enriched uranium and coolant, and then also some more ice mining, a ton of ice mining. So that's why we've been kind of using the 5 endurances for ice mining lately, because it just allows you to go out there really quick and grab like 95 units and kind of stack it up really quickly. I don't think I'll probably run all 5 alts for ice mining every single time. I think a good balance there for me is probably like 3 endurances is pretty chill, and then I can kind of just do that a bunch every day. And then when we get kind of caught up on ice, then we can go off and do other things like Mercoxit mining, or go out there and look for trit or isogen or kind of whatever we need, because we are also building like ventures to sell or use as sino hulls and everything. But ventures are not like a huge priority. I brought that BPO over as it was kind of a leftover from the solo industry, and as you know, it's the solo industry stuff kind of is getting merged into the solo mining series, since we're covering PI mining industry kind of all in this one series. It just makes it easier. It's nicely organized and all that stuff. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and look at where our next target's going to be. What'll happen is, and this is just to help clean our mess up afterwards, but when this rock dies, we're going to make sure we get rid of this bookmark, so it's not like a false positive for us later on. We're on magma Mercoxit right now, but we can go on some of these other ones as well too. And we'll probably just try to chill on this thing. Yeah, we'll probably just try to, like, be out here for as long as possible. The longer we can actually have lasers on Mercoxit, the better, right? We could potentially, depending on how fast this actually gets mined down, we could do close to like 50 plus million in value, and that's just compressed value, which you see in like inventory. So I'm actually going to, yeah, because right now we're already sitting at 28 million compressed value, and if we can just sit here and like compress for several more rocks, that will be great. And this, I think the one thing you should take away from this episode too is it's like, if you're in a good alliance, you don't necessarily need like all the bells and whistles when it comes to mining, like boost and all that stuff too. Like today, we're out here with just a prospect, but there are people out here with like Rorquals or, boost out here as well. And if you're in a standing fleet, then you can get the benefit of that too. So this will end up being a very, very lucrative run. We were planning to do this Mercoxit run unboosted with just a prospect and kind of doing multiple trips and then compressing all at the end. But since, everything kind of lined up and the benefits of the alliance, allows us to compress on site, we're going to end up saving ourselves a lot of time here. The only thing that would make this run better is actually putting all 4 of my other alts out here doing the same thing. But I just don't think there's enough ore left on this anomaly to warrant that. Like by the time I got all those alts out here, then we would be pretty much done. Because this Hulk that's out here with us, and there's a couple of people out here now too, but there's a Mackinaw and a Hulk. That Hulk is going to eat through these rocks really, really quick. So we don't want to overextend ourselves by having a bunch of, spending a lot of time getting a bunch of guys on grid when it might not be too feasible to do that. The other thing you're going to need to watch out for too is, especially if you're orbiting, is when this rock dies, we don't want to be shot up into space. So actually we're going to come in a little bit. We're going to stop orbiting and we're going to come in here and kind of stop next to it. And the reason I want to do that is because when this rock dies, and I think it's going to die pretty soon, we'll be able to clear this bookmark and kind of go to the next target. And not find ourselves shooting out in the middle of nowhere. We might look for a rock that nobody's on. We want to stay relatively close so we can still have benefits of the boost. We have another rock out there. I'm not sure if that one's down or not. No, it's not. We can go out here to this one, and that's actually right next to this other one. We can actually dual laser. That might actually be a good plan. And we can kind of go ahead and get in that kind of vicinity. Move a little bit. I do want to still maintain some distance on this stuff, just so if I need to, I can cloak. So we're just kind of positioning a little bit. Go and see if we can compress again. And like, we want to compress as fast as possible because we don't know if, at any one time the compressor could just be gone. That benefit could just be gone. And so if we keep everything compressed, then we just extend the amount of time we can be out here. So we're at 40 million inventory estimate value right now, which is going to be more. It's always going to be more when you look at the actual more fight. Yeah, we're in a toxic field. Go up a little bit more. The toxic fields exist whenever you're using deep cores. Make sure we check our distance. Our optimal range is like 22 K on this, so we are pretty close on this, but we don't need to be this close. But it'll be fine. So pretty much I'm going to be looking at every cycle. I'm just going to be trying to compress here. That is the goal. So basically just looking at local, making sure we pay attention to, if there's a neutral comes in, and then just every cycle try to like keep that stuff compressed. In terms of just straight ISK income, doing something like this even once a day is can be pretty decent. Get you there. It's just about like having all the things you need. Like if you want to do Mercoxit mining, having the ships and the lasers and the crystals needed to do that. We keep in stock pretty much every type of crystal, including moon. I usually carry, and then the prospect endurance and like the hulks and stuff like that. So at any one time we can kind of like shift and pivot and kind of reconfigure for whatever ore or ice is available to us, which is great because not every day is gonna be the same. You're not gonna have an ice belt in the same system every single day. It's nice if you do, but okay, let's clear this bookmark. We're gonna go up to this one. Go turn the prop mod on. We're just going to look at our distance here. We're going to go all the way into it. And the other reason you want to like orbit on these things is just because like you don't want to get stuck on those toxic fields. All right, we can stop there. Turn the prop mod off. We're actually going to target up 2 different rocks. And we're going to split our lasers because we are in range for that. That way, because like as we get closer to the end of this anomaly, all the ships are going to start converging on the same rocks. So if we can split our lasers, it's better because we have the chance of not having to like completely waste our time if one rock goes down. Compress that 1 unit of Mercoxit, please. There we go. So we're in range of every single Mercoxit rock from where we are right now, except for this one up here, which we'll probably gun to. What I'll do is I'll probably do something like this and come all the way straight up and then over so I don't get stuck on this decorative rock. We'll see how it goes. I think we could probably send the Tengu back home, but it's not bothering anybody. Just want to make sure we can kind of like get as much as we can off this run. And then, like I said, what we'll do is when we get everything back, we'll refine it. We'll look at the more fight value that came out of it. I think we're probably gonna end up making like about 100 million on this run if we can get several more cycles and stuff. And we don't. And what's nice is like we don't really necessarily have to stop by the refinery when we're done here. By the time this anomaly drops, we can pretty much just go straight back to where we need to be. Here we go. Compress. We got 2 different variants. So the big difference here is this one is just regular Mercoxit. This is going to be 140 units on refine. And then this one is the Magma 147. You get a little bit more, which is nice. That's why we prioritized that one. But at the end of the day, it's not really going to matter. We're still going to we're going to make a killing. Yeah, we're at like 51 million right now. So I would say every cycle is worth probably like 5 million or so. I do not have a survey scanner on this ship though, so I can't actually see. And that's another thing too about having a survey scanner. If you're watching the rock via the survey scanner, it gives you a good idea when you need to like kind of switch targets or start repositioning. Yeah, like that. Go and cut that. Go ahead and get this other rock that's up 2. Dual laser on that. We're going to get a little closer, and then we're going to remove this bookmark. And then we're going to bookmark. I guess we don't really have to bookmark this one, but we're going to do it anyway. It's kind of our next target. There we go. And get that compression on. $53 was like, 20% of a cycle, but just like I said, that's how it kind of goes. And we could go ahead and switch over to this one, actually. It'll save us a lot of time. So we'll probably go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go and click move, but I'm going to go and kill both those cycles so we actually get the ore from it. We're going to turn that prop mod. Get everything compressed. Kill those 2 targets. Once we clear this decorative rock, then we're going to move a little bit closer over the top of this rock here. And go and kill that one there. The reason we're going to go and switch this is because no one else is on it right now, so we don't have to compete too much with the exhumers for the most part. We can let them finish that stuff down there, and then they'll end up coming up, pushing up and kind of putting their lasers up here on this, which the idea is we've already done like a few cycles on that. It's actually ended up, I was actually not sure what I was going to do for the solo mining episode today. I knew I wanted to do Mercoxit, that or like ice dragging, but I hadn't done Mercoxit in several days, so I kind of went off with the idea was I was going to go off with the Tengu and find a fresh site and then kind of show the clearing process and stuff. But I ended up finding one that was, pretty fresh, that was already cleared. And so here we are. So instead of video being like, oh, how to clear the rats from it and then, mining it, we instead get to see a very, very good example of the income that can be pulled out of one of these things, which is really great. Because if you're not actually doing a lot of industry, if all you care really about is mining for ISK, then Mercoxit is going to be your best bet. Because you can use a cheap ship, like the prospect here, and make a killing. Like this ship is like 85 million, and it's no bling. We could probably also like do a little better on yield too by just, getting rid of some of the stuff. But I do kind of like my prospect being like kind of wormhole configuration for the most part. So we should be able to get a full cycle. We the past few rocks we have not been getting full cycles for our lasers, which is why I kind of came up here, so I could get a few full cycles from this, which is going to help us out a lot. 61. Yeah, like I said, we're probably going to be looking at about 100 million for this this run here. Very, very pleased about that. But also, like, while we're kind of sitting here finishing up, like, let me know in the comments, like, any questions you guys have in terms of, like, nullsec mining, anything you want to see. I'm not really into doing, like, really crazy, dumb things. Like, I mean, there's something to be said about, like, having a siege work with, like, 4 hulks, just blowing through ice. That's really good, good yield and stuff, but it's not necessarily something I would do every single day. I've been trying to focus my content more on realistic scenarios for people who are trying to like do industry and stuff like that. Things that aren't kind of like, super risky. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys want to see any type of mining configuration. Let me know, it allows me to kind of prep and get, hulls and ships and modules and stuff kind of out here to show that stuff. But so far, like, the goal here is just kind of like, keep the solo mining series going. Obviously, we're focused on nullsec and all the things there. And that's what's beautiful about nullsec now is, like, we don't have to split ourselves to high sec or low sec because we have access to all the materials out here. So it's kind of it's almost all inclusive now. All right, we got a toxic cloud. See if we can get another compression off. Good to go. And as you can see, we got only one other rock on this anomaly other than the one we're on. So those guys down there are going to be 100%. And one of those guys already left, but that Hulk is going to be chewing that one rock down pretty far. And then their lasers will be up here on this one. I'm hoping we can get a few more full rotations out of here. Maybe, hopefully be like, inventory estimate be like, 70 million. 70 plus million. But once this last rock goes out, then we will be heading back, and then we'll kind of show the morphite yield for all this. But I've been trying to like change the format of these as well, like being as uncut as possible, like just kind of like a journal style video. They might run a little bit longer, they might not be like, they might not be like, but I think it's valuable, kind of showing a full like mining session kind of as uncut as possible is very valuable. It gives you a really good real world kind of example of, how it kind of goes out here without a ton of editing and stuff. But yeah, I'm actually pretty pleased with this run today. We do have a toxic cloud over there. That's why you want to stay kind of far away. Stay at range as much as you can. We can come in a little bit, but I'm not really too worried about it. We'll be good to go. Get these two rocks done, and then get back. We're at 71 million right now, inventory estimate. I mean, I'm actually curious what we're getting full pulls on these, so I want to see what this next pull. I thought we were getting like 5 million compressed value per cycle, but I think it might be a little bit more than that. As you can see, one of the rocks just died, so we have the Hulk going to be on here as well too. I really need to put a survey scanner on this thing so I can actually get more of a timeline for everything. I'll probably drop one of these sensor boosters, honestly, since we're not doing wormhole stuff exclusively, but drop one of the sensor boosters, put a survey scanner on here, and that gives us the option to like look at this rock and get a good idea when we should be ready to like hit the road. It also gives you a good idea of like when to like stop, your laser cycles to finish off a rock, because a rock can maybe have, okay, so yeah, 76 million inventory estimate. So yeah, we were doing, actually let's compress it first so we can get the value for that. Yeah, about 6 million per cycle. But what I'm saying is, like, if there's not enough ore in the rock to justify an entire cycle on your laser, and you let that laser cycle completely, then you're wasting a lot of time. So by having a survey scanner, and you kind of know off the top of your head, like, what you're doing per M3 per second, whether or not you can cut it at a quarter, a fourth, a half, or whatever, it saves you a ton of time. Without the survey scanner, we just kind of have to, like, let the thing run full cycle and, hope that there's enough ore in there to kind of justify it. And all that goodness. We did a Mercoxit run last week or so, but we got to the anomaly pretty late, so we didn't end up pulling a whole lot. So that's why we had a little bit of morphite in our manufacturing building after refine, but this will actually give us a good amount. So, and I always like, and that's the thing is, if you're not using Mercoxit, and I think I've talked about this before, if you're not using Mercoxit for industry, having it kind of stockpiled and using it to pad a shipment of stuff, an export back to Jita, is great. It allows you to just kind of clear up your inventory, maybe take lower value stuff that isn't worth sending back on its own because of the cost of the freight service or whatever. Putting Mercoxit in there with it will almost always make sense for the cost there. And there, we're done. Let's see if we can get another compression on here. No, compressions are already off. So what we can do now is we can just cloak. All right, we are back home. Let's go and get this stuff kind of emptied out here. We're going to have to put this in the mining hold. Yeah, about 60. Oh, actually, it's a little bit less, but 64 or whatever. Come on, my inventory. Actually, I'm going to throw that other compressed up in here just so we can try to round it out. a little bit. Here we go. Let's go and reprocess this. About 64 million. Decent. Pretty decent little trip there. And I usually just keep all this stuff here until I have like a jump raider full ready to go. I kind of keep everything here. So for instance, all this stuff, isogen, all this liquid O and stuff like that needs to be moved over to the manufacturing side. But you know, I can kind of just keep it, you know, keep filling up this jump freighter, and whenever it's good to go, I can make the trip over. But not a bad little run. About 64 million for very minimal effort. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you check out the Patreon page for supporting the channel and for exclusive content. Hit the like button on this video. Hit the subscribe to get notified for new solo mining episodes, and I'll see you in the next one.